Grogu, don't pee on the monolith. Hi,
Bad Grogu.
kids these days.
Hey everybody, this is TJR.
This is Superfan.
Just hanging out with our little guy here. A while back, when the announcement for the Who's 50th anniversary release of Who's Next was announced, I did a video where I discussed the various, different release formats they were going to do. And in that video, I said that I was for sure going to pick up the LP half speed mastered version of it because I've been so pleased with the other half speed remasters that I got from the Who. That included Tommy, and that included also their first album, My Generation. I was very pleased with how those sounded. So I said, for sure, I'm getting this one. And at the time I said, this box set sounds fantastic, the Super Deluxe set, but it's too expensive, way too expensive. And I said, I won't be able to get that. I will probably just get the 2 CD version, which has the remaster of the album and then the kind of the highlights of what's on the Super Deluxe set. And I said that, and I remember one of our viewers, James Wilson, said to me in the comments that you got to get it. There's no way you cannot get this. And I said, yeah, I want to, but it's really expensive. He said, well, just start saving now. So what happened is, one, I got a little Amazon gift card, and two, the price went down quite a bit.
Well, there you go.
And so I said, okay.
That's all the excuse you needed.
That's all the excuse I needed. That was the sign from God that I needed to get this. And so I did. And it's right here in this box. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, I did, of course, pick up the half speed remastering here. I thought I'd just show this real quick and talk about it very quickly here. This showed up first. And actually, the box set was supposed to show up at around the same time. I kept getting messages from Amazon saying it's been delayed, it's been delayed. And so, that was just the way it was. But it arrived today finally. So I thought just real quick, I'd just go ahead and show you this here. This is the, of course, half speed mastering, Abbey Road Studios. Here's the little Obi strip right here, or OBI, depending on who you talk to. People pronounce them different ways. There we go. The production, the reproduction, I should say, of the cover looks pretty good. In the past, the last two that I got were on much thicker, heavier cardboard stock. This is not by any means flimsy, in my opinion, but not as thick as some of the others. Inside, there was this, what I guess was what the original sleeve looked like, which actually lists different artists that were releasing at the time, which is kind of a cool little time capsule. You look at this stuff, you see Yes, Dr. John, Richie Havens, Mothers of Invention, Rory Gallagher, The Who, John Mayall, Led Zeppelin, and just, a list of other artists, available. Little collage of all those artists. Kind of neat. This is on real thick, glossy, heavy stock paper. I'm sure that the original release this is probably just standard paper or even newsprint, something cheap. The album itself, of course, featured an original retro, label. It's in a paper sleeve, but with poly lining on the inside. And I'm surprised they didn't just polyline this, but I don't know. At any rate, though, this time around, I thought the album maybe wasn't as clean out of the package as some of the previous ones, like Tommy, where it was very clean coming out of the package. But a quick little carbon fiber brush cleaning is all I had to do. And that took care of it, pretty much. I've been listening to it for the last couple days. We did make a comparison of it. We took my most recent copy of the album that I have on CD. This was the 2 CD deluxe edition from some years back. I'm not sure exactly when.
It was early 2000s.
Early 2000s, roughly, yeah. But this featured, of course, the original album, New York Record Plant Sessions, and some live recordings at the Young Vic. I'm sure some of this will get reproduced in this set here. I'm sure some of it will, but of course there's a whole lot more. But we did compare. We listened to Baba O'Reilly, and then the first track, and then went over to the last track on side one, which was Song Is Over. You pretty much made up your mind within seconds as to what you thought.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, well, there's no point in even listening. You were basically like saying it's pretty much obvious, isn't it? You were very much of the opinion that the LP sounded a lot better than the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just like were there. Me, I wanted to just listen a little bit more, make sure that I wasn't just leaning towards it because it's, new shiny object, new girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, and but
always like your new girlfriend the best.
Yes, all my new girlfriends. There's so many of them. Definitely, I felt like the main difference was there was an extra dimensionality to the guitars. Always on these Who re-releases that I've listened to so far, these half-speed masterings, there is a lot more dimension to the drums. You can feel more space between the various different drums. Those are always some of the most strongest elements of these half-speed masterings that I found, is just how the drums sound. But the guitar particularly, just a real sense of dimension to the tone of it. Very well done. But yeah, so been listening to this now for the last couple of days. And again, this deluxe set that we're about to take a look at here was supposed to have arrived around the same time as this LP. In fact, I was surprised I got the LP faster. I ordered the LP from You Discover Music because I had a large amount of reward points with them.
Yay.
That I was able to redeem against this, because these are not cheap. The last two half-speed masterings I've gotten, which were Tommy and Who's Next, I picked them up when they finally, got marked down quite a bit, because they were expensive, especially Tommy, because it's 2 LPs, very expensive. And I just waited until they, finally went on sale and picked them up then. But yeah, so those are our thoughts on the LP. It might have been, you had suggested that this might have been an unfair comparison, since at the time this came out during the early 2000s, CDs were getting brick-walled quite a bit as far as compression. And the CD, I'll admit, the CD sounds fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But by comparison, the CD was flatter sounding than the LP. And that might be something to do with it. Who knows? But that was the comparison we made. That's what we had available. So with that said, we're going to unbox now the 50th anniversary Super Deluxe set here. Oh, and by the way, I should mention, you may notice this box has some dings here. And this was actually packaged in a larger box, which had some padding in it. And when I looked at this, I thought, the outer box was addressed to me. This one was addressed to Amazon, coming from LMG Return Center. I thought, Return Center, am I going to get something that somebody returned? Because there was...
We don't know.
We don't know, because we were waiting a while for this to show up. This should have showed up days ago. And I kept getting messages saying, we're sorry. If you want to request a refund, you can. I thought, no, I don't want a refund. I just want to receive this. So I just kept waiting. Anyway, so here it is. But yeah, hopefully they're not sending me someone else's return. In fact, I just noticed, look at this giant gash here.
Yeah, I was going to say, show them that.
Yeah, that's really bad. So
hopefully this is a reused box. It looks like it might be.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully it is just a reused box. Let's open this up.
There's padding inside of there.
Yeah. And okay. So good news. Looking at this here. Yeah, there's definitely some padding. This is how it's...
Oh, it's one of those from...
Yeah, it's one of these. Let's pull this off here. And let's try to set this down.
I think we'll take that on our trip with us.
Okay. When we go to the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we do have room.
And here it is. Who's Next? Lifehouse. This is heavy. I could do some serious repetitions with this.
And it's obviously not it's not being a resale.
No, it's not a resale. This is not something that was repackaged.
That's factory packaging.
Yeah. So
It may have been sold and come back unopened,
possibly.
and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's still factory packaging.
So we can kind of see here, as I look at the end here, we've got Lifehouse, the graphic novel, Who's Next Lifehouse, memorabilia, disc 1 to 6. That's all right here. Back cover. And let's take a look here, the back here. Disc 1, Who's Next, the original album. Disc 2, Pete Townshend's Lifehouse Demos, 1970 to 1971, Part 1. Disc 2, Pete Townshend's Lifehouse Demos, 1970 to 1971, Part 2. Disc 4, Record Plant, New York Sessions, March 1971. Disc 5, Olympic Sound Studios, London Sessions, 1970 to 1972. Disc 6, Singles and Sessions, 1970 to 1972. Disc 7, Live at the Young Vic, London, 1971, Part 1. That's where we'll see some repetition on that other set there. Disc 8, Live at the Young Vic, London, 1971, Part 2. Disc 9, Live at the Civic Auditorium, San Francisco, 1971, Part 1. Disc 10, Live at the Civic Auditorium, San Francisco, 1971, Part 2. Disc 11, Blu-ray, Who's Next, plus 14 bonus tracks. Steven Wilson mixes, Dolby Atmos, DTS HD 5.1, stereo, PCM stereo. So yeah, this is a big, big set. And the hype sticker here on the front kind of sums up a lot of the same exact stuff here. Unreleased and rare studio and live material plus Steven Wilson's Dolby Atmos mix. All 132 tracks remastered. 100-page book with rare photos and memorabilia. Sleeve notes by Pete Townshend. New essays and track-by-track annotations. I'm going to particularly like that. The 172-page Lifehouse graphic novel. 1971 Fillmore North Sunderland, UK poster. 1971 Denver Coliseum, Denver, US poster. 1971 Rainbow Theatre, London poster. 1971 16-page UK tour program. Whew. 1971 20-page Rainbow Theatre, London program. 4 pin button badges. 1971 photo of The Who with printed autographs. And then underneath it says, "It's only Teenage Wasteland."
Well, why didn't they do real autographs?
Yeah. And there's a parental advisory sticker here as well. So I guess you can't listen to it, little guy. Anyways, well, maybe we'll let you listen if you're good. Just don't piss on the monolith, whatever you do. A while back, I posted a video to the patrons responding to an article of essential rock albums everyone should own. And of course, Who's Next was one of them. And the way they described the cover in that article, they didn't seem to understand that the cover is basically, the 4 members of the band pissing on a monolith. And they didn't seem to get that. I thought, how could they be missing this aspect of it? And we talked about that. But anyways, though, here we go. Let's pull this off here.
You can show them the big box.
Well, yeah.
It's easier to see than pissing on the monolith.
Well, it's like, I think this has been obvious to all rock fans right from the very beginning that that's what's going on here. That's the title, Who's Next? Who's Next? Such, how shall I say, influential album for me growing up. It was the first Who album I bought. But of course, so many great songs. And yet, basically, the album itself is basically the remnants of a failed project, The Lifehouse, the concept album that never was. And so I'm guessing here, well, it's never been stated outright, but I'll learn more as I read about it, hopefully in the notes and everything, that the Lifehouse demos here are reconstructing as close as possible what the album would have been. And so we'll be able to check that out here. Where shall we start here? There's so much in
Pull
here.
one out see which comes out first.
It looks like the bigger books are coming out first. And I think the first book that's coming out is the graphic novel. And yeah, Lifehouse, the graphic novel. I hope this gets a separate release. I remember thinking that at the time, that I would hope this gets a separate release outside of this set, even if maybe they do it later down the line. I honestly don't know a whole lot about what's going on behind this graphic novel, but I would imagine this is, of course, a dramatization of what the album's story is. And I'll just show a little bit here. My basic understanding of Lifehouse for a long time has been that it was about virtual reality. And of course, this is the early 70s. Townsend imagined it as a follow-up to Tommy. That didn't happen. There was also going to be a lot of multimedia tie-ins for it as well. But once again, it never happened. But I'll show just a few pages here. I want to be very careful. This is a hardcover book, but you can kind of see some of the artwork here for the graphic novel. Yeah. This, of course, I guess, yeah, all new. Here's a nice center spread, or partial center spread page. But yeah, science fiction story. That's the graphic novel. Who's Next? Lifehouse Super Deluxe Edition, this says. I don't think these are the discs, though. Let's take a look here. This is the hardcover book, of course. Interesting. There's a little addendum here, a little page here with an addendum. The text page on 75 has been updated too, and then they're giving you this. I guess they realized there was a mistake or something they needed to update. I guess I'll find out more as I read it. But here is a look inside. Let's see here. But this is more the historical material. And obviously discussing both the album Who's Next and also the Lifehouse as well. And but very nice. Here's the back cover. Very big, sturdy hardcover book. I am going to just put this back here. There we go. And these next two parts are much lighter. Here we go. Here we have, okay, so here's where the discs are. Who's Next? Lifehouse, discs 1 through 6. Here's the back. And let's see how this opens. Okay, so this opens like an LP, but in here we have all the discs. Starting, of course, with the original album. Let's see here. Original album. Lifehouse demos. Record Plant New York sessions. Olympic Sound Studios London sessions. Singles and sessions. Maybe I'll pull out one of these here. Here is the one that says Singles and Sessions. These are in little paper envelopes here. Here. We'll go ahead and just pull out some more here. What the heck? This one is Record Plant Sessions, New York, 1971. Olympic Sound Studio Sessions, London Sessions, 1970 to 1972. There we go. Yeah, let's just pull all of them out. What the heck? Pete Townshend Lifehouse demos. This is part 2. Not doing these in order. Sorry. Going from right to left. I should have gone left to right. And then here's part 1. There we go. And then, of course, we have the original album here. This is a new remastering. We'll see how this sounds, of course. Maybe compare it to the LP, half-speed mastering. And then this is disc 7 to 11. Again, in this LP style packaging. Open it up here. I'll show these here. This time I will go from left to right. The Who Live at the Young Vic, Part 1, 1971. Live tracks. Here is Part 2. Next one is Live at the Civic Auditorium. Okay. Live at the Civic Auditorium, Part 2. And then finally, here's the Blu-ray. The original album and bonus tracks. Reproducing the cover, of course. They've slightly tinged the color a little bit here, so you can kind of know that it's the Blu-ray. Yeah. Giving that a little bit of a tinge there. And so those are the discs. Honestly, I think the first thing I'll dive into, and I've said that I would like to come back and kind of follow up with some of this, but there's so much. I don't think I could possibly review it all in any kind of like time frame, especially with all the other projects I'm working on right now. I am working on a series project right now for the channel that has been taking up my last couple of weeks. And I think if I'm going to dive into anything as far as reviewing it, it's going to be the first priority would be the Lifehouse demos. Because I'm really assuming and hoping that these two CDs will basically give me an idea of what the Lifehouse album was going to sound like. I realized that it's going to be a lot of unfinished recordings, demos, you know. Some of them, which of course ended up being on Who's Next, some of which, you know, never appeared anywhere. And so, but that would be the main thing. If I was going to come back and review it, it would be that. Maybe talk about the other sessions here, the New York Olympic Sound sessions here. Maybe discuss that. But yeah, the first place to concentrate on would be that. If I come back and do some separate reviews, there is so much here. The book, I just was looking at that too. There's so much to read. I'm going to enjoy it all, but I don't know if I can report on all of it, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, it's a huge set.
It's very huge, yeah. The live material, if I comment on it, I think it will just be, I'll talk just quickly about the audio quality of the live recordings. You know, because sometimes the live recordings on some of these sets are questionable. There was that Jimi Hendrix set for Electric Ladyland where the recording is not really all that great, but at the end of the day, it's a Jimi Hendrix concert I've never heard. You know, even if it was just a cassette recorder of someone in the audience, I'd still want to hear it. That's Jimi Hendrix, for crying out loud, you know? And, you know, and also when it comes to that sort of thing, I kind of don't always have the highest expectations when it comes to the live stuff. And with demos, of course, I know what I'm getting into. I'm listening to demos. I'm not listening to finished recordings. I'm peeking behind the curtain and being given the opportunity to look into the creative process, get a little bit more insight into it, into the creative process. In fact,
yeah, this is kind of like the super deluxe of the DVD commentary.
Exactly. It's like that, like the DVD, you know, when the bonus materials used to get on DVDs and Blu-rays that were worth watching. Yeah, it is equivalent of that. I know some people say they have no interest in hearing demos or they might just hear them once.
It is the Lord of the Rings of that DVD commentary.
Yeah, that was a great, when the Lord of the Rings films were released on DVD and Blu-ray, their bonus features were absolutely fantastic and fascinating and entertaining and intriguing and engrossing. Sometimes, you know, this type of bonus material and audio, some of it is just as engrossing, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a mixed bag. I know with the Beatles sets, I would say more than 50% of it ends up on my player as part of my regular listening, whereas maybe only 50 to 25% of it doesn't, because it's just that was interesting to hear once kind of thing. But even still, to me, it just never ceases to fascinate me. So then we just have this one box here, and this is memorabilia here. This is probably where those posters and tour programs are and all that. And this is a little open up box like this. Yeah, well, we're going to show it, yeah. And so let's take a look here. Oh, okay. This is our little gift package. But here are the little buttons they talked about. Right there. And these buttons, they're badges, actually, it says. Here, I'll show you the back here.
No, Gurgu, you cannot wear them.
He wants to wear them. Let's see here. And then we have, here's the autograph photo, of course, just replica autograph. There we go. When they were young men, when they were strapping young lads. And let's see here. So here we've got some little booklets here. I'm guessing these are like tour program books. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, these are tour program books. Here, I'll show you the inside here.
Always like a good tour program.
Growing up, I didn't get to go to too many concerts, and it was just enough to afford to go to the concert, much less buy a program book. That was usually something I couldn't have. This is another tour program book, the other one they talked about here. These are small. I expect them to be bigger. Then we've got these posters here. I don't know if I'm even going to try to open these up here. Let's see here. Maybe I'll try this one here. This is for the rainbow. Whew. There we go. I would say that by and large, unless they're really something, the posters are probably what I look at the least. Because I will come back to these. You know, I own a number of these sets now. And people have asked me, do you ever, after you look at them the first time, do you ever look at them again? And yeah, like the Beatles sets, I'll probably revisit them maybe once, maybe twice a year. I'll go back and look over the book again, maybe reread certain parts of the book, look at the photos again. The music, of course, goes into my mobile device, and that's always going to be, listened to,
It's always with you.
It's always with me. Yeah, that's always with me. Posters are probably the thing that I will probably look at the least after the first time. They probably mean the least to me, though they're still kind of neat, in my opinion.
If we ever are in the position to have a music
That's probably
room,
the best. Go ahead. I'm sorry, what?
If we're ever in the position to have a music room.
Yeah. Then these would be great framed.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the best one of these posters. I like this one in particular. I think it looks really good.
Although my U2 ones are going to be framed first.
Yes, of course. Bono is going to take priority. Always, Bono will take priority with you. But
well, my
yes,
promo material from the Boy album.
Yes.
The UK release of the Boy album.
Yes.
Is going to be the first thing that gets framed and put on the wall.
So you have quite a bit of YouTube promo materials because you worked at a record store, of course, during that time.
And I have a wonderful friend named James who.
Yeah, and you had a friend that helped you,
who gave me a lot of stuff after I wasn't working in the stores anymore. Mm-hmm. He was still working. He worked at several different places.
And he got you stuff. That's good.
He would get me stuff. So.
Yeah. So let me go ahead here. I'm going to close up this. This is probably the most fragile of everything here, this little package here. So we're going to just close this up. But yeah, some cool memorabilia here. Yeah. This is going to be some good reading here. I have the deluxe, super deluxe set for Tommy. I know it was a great set. A lot of good reading, a lot of good listening, a very good remastering of the album. And let's put these other books back here. The graphic novel. Man, I was expecting this to be like in paperback. I was not expecting a nice hardcover like this. You know, I mean, and this alone is heavy. This is heavy just by itself. This graphic novel.
Given the price, the premium price that they ask.
Yeah.
And
yeah, no, I didn't think
the rest of its package.
Yeah.
I would kind of expect it to be hardcover.
I didn't. When I looked at what was being offered, I said, that's a lot. It's a lot of money, but I could see that they were offering the value for it. I just kept saying, I can't afford it. It's too much right now. I just can't, you know. But then, like I said, the price dropped quite a bit on Amazon, not for a long time, but it did drop. And then I managed to get an Amazon gift card, which also helped drop the price further, making it very reasonable and a lot easier for me to take care of paying for it.
Well, you should thank Grogu because he made the stars align for you.
He did. He used his Jedi powers to do that. And yeah, a lot to listen to. So probably the first thing that I will import is the Lifehouse demos and listen to that and really start absorbing that. And I would like to come back and talk about it, but again, there's a lot here. And also, I am involved in a series project right now for the channel that has been taking up my weekends, writing and filming. And I will talk more about it. I did briefly touch on it when Robert and I talked about the Rolling Stones' new album not too long ago. Oh, I didn't even show this side of it here. This is the memorabilia box or portfolio. Probably is a better word for it, but I didn't even show this side of it here. I just noticed it myself.
Yeah, and we are also getting ready to go on our trip.
Yeah, we are trying to get ready to go on a trip. But I'm going to start listening to that, sit down and read the book, and hopefully get a lot more useful information about the Lifehouse, about the album that never was. There was a really good video about the Lifehouse album from the Polyphonic channel, if I say it right. Polyphony or polyphonic. I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying it right.
It's probably polyphonic.
I think maybe it's called polyphony, one of those. But there, we've got it all put away. Excellent. Yeah, that was a good idea, putting the hardcover stuff in first. And whoa, this is a heavy box. Yeah, it's heavy, man. Anyway, so yeah.
Start lifting weights again, mister.
There we go. But yeah, that's where I'm going to start. Those two discs and then the book. And I'll probably be reading the book as I'm listening, as I'm absorbing it all. Oh, here was that little addendum for the hardcover book. We'll put that in we'll put that in later. I don't want to pull this all back out again. Yeah, we want to get this on a bookshelf where it's easy to pull things in and out and all that good stuff. But in the meanwhile, of course, have been listening to this. It's been great hearing the album again, kind of like rediscovering it again, hearing this House Speed mastering. This is an album I should talk about, especially in the new series that I'm trying to put together right now, which is a series of, I don't want to say, well, album reviews, kind of a cross between album reviews and album analyses, where I'm just, talking about the album track by track, discussing certain aspects of it, my personal thoughts and feelings, reactions about it. And this would definitely be an album, hopefully if the series does well. I'm working on about 5 episodes at once and would put them out weekly. And if the response is good, if the episodes do well, I'll continue to make more of them. This would definitely be an album to talk about here because it was so important to me growing up. It was my first Who album. Pete Townshend's guitar playing was a big influence on me as a guitarist. I think very quickly when I started to play, because I wasn't what you would call like I wasn't at that, a shredding lead guitarist. I was really more of a rhythmic player, and I really learned a lot of my rhythm playing listening to Pete Townshend, listening to how he just strums and the power chords. And very early on, I was trying to do those windmill moves that he did, when I was playing. I couldn't help myself. And of course, I also, when I was playing in garage bands, was doing my best to jump into the air the way he did. I just was so amazed by his athleticism while he played, jumping into the air the way he was. Yeah, he was a real big influence on me.
Did you ever smash a guitar?
No, I did not smash my guitar. I couldn't do that. Because if I did, then I had no guitar. I wasn't going to have nothing. No, there was no money for that. I mean, getting a guitar was hard enough, just expense-wise. That was hard enough. But no, we weren't going to do that. That's for damn sure. Anyways, though, so yeah, it's been great rediscovering this album again, listening to it over again. I think my favorite track, interestingly enough, while there are so many huge radio hits off this album, my favorite track is Song Is Over. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piano song. So there we go. The Who. Who's next? The half-speed mastering from Abbey Road Studios. And, of course, the Super Deluxe box set. Enough discs to keep you busy for a lifetime. Until the 100th anniversary. This will keep you busy. Trust me. You've got plenty to check out. But, yeah, we're not going to live to see that 100th anniversary. None of us are. Not the band, not anybody. Get these packages out now while we're all still alive to spend money on them. That's what they're all doing, basically.
Speak for yourself.
In fact, Kiss isn't even waiting for the 50th. They're doing it at the 40th because it's like, we better get these out soon.
Me, Keith Richards, and the Cockroaches were going to be.
You, Keith Richards, the Cockroaches, and Cher. You're all going to be sticking around. Suddenly that put a sour taste in your mouth the moment I mentioned Cher. Oh, don't tell me you hate her or something.
I don't hate her.
Okay.
I don't care about her.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, though, she's my baby sister's favorite, Cher.
I know she is.
Yeah. Anyways, though, everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And thank you, Patreon supporters, for all that you do. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel. And mostly just thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And hope you stay safe and healthy. We'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye.